We're gonna skate to one song only. Yo, welcome back to the Sandbox. We back at it again with a special guest, Miss Destiny Pinky. How are you?
I'm good.
Therapist. We going. If I don't make somebody cry today, hey, I ain't do my job, bro. But yeah, we got you're a mental health therapist.
Yes, and drug and alcohol.
Drug and alcohol. Okay. Money, what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling, man?
My body's tight.
Tight. Had you in the gym with me.
Yeah.
Working out.
This is my first Saturday in like a month.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling good though. I'm all right. Tay, what's up, bro? How you?
Yo, I'm chilling. What's up?
Tight. How was your week, bro?
My week was chilling, bro. It was, with the day off on Monday and stuff. My week actually went kind of fast. I'm actually kind of happy about that. So yeah, it's been chilling.
All right, hey, man. How about you?
I'm chilling, man.
How was your week?
Week was cool. Came from work earlier.
Okay. That's it. Nothing fly.
Nothing crazy.
You ain't had to punch on a Mexican tonight?
No, I ain't put no hands on feet on nobody this week. It's been a chill week.
That's a good thing.
All right. I have this much patience for Negroes now, yo.
Oh yeah, that shit every year.
Because trying to spend money with people and their business is just like, I don't know. What are y'all doing? Like, I'm trying to put money in your pocket, and y'all be like half-assing me.
It always been like
even
that.
if you got a business or you're a street pharmacist, like it's just
funny?
like, bro, like
That shit been like that for a while. Remember we used to try to call a dope boy, get some bud, and motherfucker never return, or come back like an hour or two later.
Oh my god, bro!
Like,
and then text you like, yo, bro, where you at? I still got that.
Yeah, I'm outside.
Nigga, I'm fried. What are you talking about? I already got already.
Like,
We
what the fuck?
live down the street and everything. Like,
Yeah, like, that shit. I would never understand it.
So this week was like my patience for black people is like real low right now. So like I said, we got a therapist today. Because us being black men or just black people in general, I think we are at a point where therapy is like highly needed.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a requirement.
Yeah,
facts.
like just in the city of Philly, like the past 3 years, like the violence has been crazy.
Get worse every year.
Yeah, and like I'm pretty sure like everybody is like mentally drained at this point.
Right.
From the killings, not having no money.
You know how
the price of rent is going up. It's just like
gas
is $5. Like
Yeah.
you know how I feel to wake up every morning and see that somebody else got shot and killed.
Yeah.
Like I was in a barbershop this morning and saw that a pregnant chick got shot in the head. They saved the baby, but she got shot in the head in like Port Richmond. I was like, bro, it's 8:30 in the morning, and I'm hearing about somebody getting killed.
That's Philly for you, man. Just living in Philly.
Like even this past week, right? The young boy on my block got killed. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Damn.
Frank. Rest in peace, Frank. Right.
Yeah, R.I.P. man.
And it's just like,
Young too.
yeah, he probably was like 21, 22.
Like that's the worst part. Like it's getting younger. Not saying like it should be older, but it's just like
The young boys.
yeah, like they're just
getting younger and younger.
yeah.
Even the week before that, the boy man got killed. Not you, bro.
I hope not.
Yeah, right. I mean, he like this would be kind of crazy if he was sitting here.
Like dropped it, huh?
Talking to a ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
like-
I see dead people shit.
But like, nigga dropped it this, and then a week later you get killed.
yeah.
But my thing is like everybody in the city like, well, why you dropped a diss track like against other dead people? I mean,
dissing dead people like that. I don't understand that. When did that shit start being cool?
I don't know. Like the clout is dangerous, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, people doing it for clout.
All that shit is for clout.
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah, but yeah, mental health is highly needed. I should highly suggest it. I'm a mental health advocate. I've been in therapy for about a year and a half now, and it's like definitely helped tremendously, bro. Like I can definitely vouch for it. But we gonna put the attention on you now. You ready?
He just slid that over there. Like,
So me and Destiny knew each other for about, I want to say over 10 years now, right? Yeah. We met at a
Like an education enrichment program.
yeah.
Doing like college tours and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 years. I went, God damn, yo, time be flying. I had a pause. I'm like, damn, time really be flying, bro.
Been that
But
long.
what high school you went to?
So I went to Community Academy. It's in Kensington. It didn't look like
That's when Kensington was alright.
Yeah. I went to Community Academy.
And then
I went to Lincoln University to get my bachelor's in criminal justice with a minor in human services. Then I went back to Lincoln the August after I graduated and got my master's in counseling.
Okay. So you always wanted to be a counselor?
No, I initially enrolled in St. Joe's for like behavioral analyst, which is kind of like Criminal Minds, Spencer, kind of like that situation, but it was too expensive. I think they gave me $2,500 for like a semester.
Oh shit.
So I went back to Lincoln because, I mean, it wasn't free, but my loans covered everything.
So in total, how long was you in school?
So my master's program is regularly 3 years, but it was accelerated. So I was in school from 2012 when I went to Lincoln the first time, graduated in May in 2016, and then in August of 2016, I went back to school until 2018. So about 6 years.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
So that first therapy session, what was that like?
With like me as a therapist?
Yes.
It was a mess.
Was it?
It was a mess. Like you in grad school, you like practice running a session with like your professors and your classmates. But it's like I done spent the last 2 years with y'all, so it's like I'm fine with talking to y'all. But getting in front of somebody who's like, yeah, I'm depressed. I want to kill myself, and I'm just sitting there like,
oh shit.
Well, don't kill yourself. So it was hard. Just trying to not feel for them, but like show that like I'm sad you feel that way, and not getting like really emotional because it's like we can't both be in here crying.
Yeah.
So it was hard. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. All the school and internship I did, it just was like I still wasn't ready. So it was very awkward. But I just did it because I ain't waste my time in school.
Yeah.
So like, how long was you out of school before you had your first session?
I actually got my first job February before I graduated.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, before you even okay.
Before I even graduated.
I never heard nobody say that.
Yeah, so I started working doing actual therapy a few months before school was done, and that was with sex offenders. So
Threw you to the wolves.
Right. Like, damn. dog.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge in itself, knowing that they either, sexually assaulted somebody, molested somebody, raped somebody, something. So that was a challenge in itself. But yeah, I was doing that while I was still like finishing my last few weeks of school.
So is there like a training course? Like, are you like, do they put you in like a training field before they actually give you a therapist job?
No, so the school is the training.
Okay.
Do an internship. Like you gotta do an internship. I had to do 700 hours, a part of like my program, in order to even graduate. And then when you get the job, they have you sit in with people, but it's usually on like groups where it's a little bit more open.
Talking to the mic. Sorry.
Where it's usually a little bit more open, and you'll do that for like a week or so, and then it's like, all right, here go a caseload of 35 people. Like figure it out.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just
So,
like that?
Basically.
This is like here.
Basically.
I'm sure that had to cause like stress. Like,
I mean, it did. One, because, like I said, it was sex offenders. So, like, they didn't have any picks. Kids, babies, boys, girls, moms, dads, siblings, like, no picks. So, that was a struggle trying to get adjusted to because you knew, you young. So, they, like, clients would stalk you.
oh shit.
Like stand outside your office, peek in the window to see if they could see you. Like, they would stalk you. So it was definitely a challenge. But like once I started working with them, I seen the person and not what they did to somebody or what they struggle with. So it got easier. I was there for like a year and a half
Okay.
before I left.
So, because it had to, like, the stress had to be there, but like, were you like in therapy during that time, or?
No, I actually wasn't. So in that time before, like right before I started grad school, my younger brother had got killed. So I was kind of like dealing with that,
Yeah, I remember
but
that.
I never got into. I didn't get into therapy until about last year,
Oh, really?
like myself. So, no, I wasn't in therapy. I just was winging it, and most of the time when you do like therapist jobs, the interview will include like, what do you do for self care?
Right.
So like they try to make sure that you have outlets, but it's like most of the time, most of us need therapy.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine, bro.
the stress reliever was Netflix, going out, going to the bar, hanging with friends. That was pretty much it. But I didn't do therapy until about last year.
Okay. All right. So, you being a therapist, do you have like a favorite clientele that you like dealing with versus like people you like rather not deal with?
I really don't. I really enjoyed working with the sex offenders.
I was really.
I really did.
Wasn't expecting that.
Explain.
Right. I was not expecting that.
Like I've worked with drug and alcohol, so people who are addicted to who knows what, meth, Adderall, Percocets, heroin, cocaine, like all of that. They are probably the hardest to work with because you can't addiction. They gotta want to do it.
Yeah.
So like you can get them all the therapy in the world, and they're gonna go get high when they leave.
Yeah.
So the sex offenders was probably the most interesting. And it was definitely my favorite, only because like a lot of them were regular people who had the same thing done to them. So over time they developed mental diagnosis, mental illness, or they had it already and it just wasn't properly managed. So if somebody did something to them, they felt like it was okay. So once you kind of got peeled back that little layer of like, all right, you hurt somebody in like an unimaginable way, but like you're still a person who was hurt and that hurt was never addressed.
Right. So you got to a point where you had to understand it.
I don't know if I would say understanding, but for lack of a better term, I'll say understanding.
Okay.
So that was definitely my favorite.
That's the thing with sex offenders. Like majority of them like had that same issue happening to them. Like even with R. Kelly, his story was like he was getting fucked with was like his brother and shit.
I know that.
His brother was touching him and beating on him and doing
Oh wow.
miscellaneous shit. It's just like,
Jesus
okay, I get why he's like kind of fucking insane.
Yeah.
Crazy and
Out here just doing anything.
yeah. So
Hurt people.
yeah,
I was just thinking about that.
yeah, hurt people
It's a true
definitely. Hurt people.
statement.
So the first, say if I want to do therapy,
Okay.
what's the first thing you think I should do?
So there's a few things you can do. You can look on a website called Psychology Today. You can put in all your criteria. If you want a man, you want a woman, you want them in this area, you want them to specialize in these things, or whatever the case may be. And they'll give you a list of people. They'll tell you whether they take insurance, how much it costs, if they don't take insurance, the area they're in, what their specialties are, and then you can reach out to them. Another way is if you have insurance, you can call the back of your insurance card. They have a whole directory of people that are covered, so you don't have to come out of your pocket. If you have a job and you have an employee assistance program, that's free therapy, but it's only most of the time it's only for a certain amount of sessions, and it depends on your job. So it can be the first 6, the first 10, or whatever the case may be. And if the situation is that bad and you're like in distress, you think you might hurt yourself or somebody, just go to the emergency room.
Okay.
And they'll refer you to somebody.
Okay.
So, explain what your a first session is like for somebody who hasn't had therapy. Is it like in the movies where like you go back to like the childhood, to like the beginning of their story, or where do you start at?
So basically, how it would start is you would do an intake. Most of the time, depending if you're doing like community-based agencies, which are agencies funded through the city, Philadelphia, you'll do an intake that more than likely won't be with the therapist, but everybody's short-staffed, so it might be with the therapist. They'll ask you a bunch of questions about just like how your life was, who you grew up with, any trauma experience, any abuse, any substance use. They'll just go through a whole little lifespan of questions that after that initial intake, you're in the program, you'll meet with the therapist. The first session is however you want it to go. So usually we'll ask like, so what brought you here? So that can be focused on what you've experienced in the last month, the last 6 months, or it can be like what you experienced when you were 10. So it's really up to the person how they want to answer the question. But normally for me, it's like, all right, so tell me a little bit about what's been going on. How have you been managing, and how has it been impacting like your life? So I'm very relaxed with it. Like, I don't want you to go and tell me somebody did something to you when you were 5 and you know me for all the 10 minutes. That's uncomfortable. So just tell me about what's been going on in the last few months, why you felt like you needed to come here, and we'll go from there. So I kind of like work backwards.
Okay. We're going to pause real quick. All right, we are back. We had a little technical difficulty.
Had to change some things real quick.
So I'm in therapy, and people ask me like, "How was it?" but stuff like that. But then they'll be like, "How can you talk to a person that you don't even know, or how can you seek help from a person that hasn't been in my situation?" What do you say to that?
Well, one, the best part of it is that they don't know you.
Yeah.
So I
That's
don't
what I
have
say.
any bias on your situation. I'm just looking at you, what you presenting, and trying to figure out how to help you manage those things. I don't know you, so like my answers won't be based on what I know you did in the 10th grade or what I know you did to the girl up the street. Like I don't have anything to do with any of that. So it's like anything I say to you will come from just me thinking of what might help you. So that's kind of the plus of the whole therapy thing, because if I'm talking to you and I know me, you might be like, well, remember, and I'm like, well, that don't have nothing to do with that. I don't know you. So that's the best part. I don't know you. And when you leave, I don't know you. And if I see you on the street, I don't know you.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's basically the whole idea of it. You're not supposed to know me because I have too many knowings of what you do and who you are as a person prior to.
Is it like protocol? Like, cause remember I asked you like, yo,
Yeah,
can you be my therapist?
It's unethical. I cannot do that. If I
Okay.
know you on any personal level, I can refer you somewhere, but I cannot work with you.
Okay.
Damn.
No, that makes sense.
No, it does, because that's kind of like how it is when when you're in like the medical field, like HIPAA and all that other stuff. Like you really can't release nobody's information and stuff like that. It's just not supposed to happen. So yeah, this definitely makes sense.
And we follow the same regulations. Like all your information is protected by HIPAA when you go see a therapist.
Oh snap!
What exactly is it?
It's a right. You asking me a
Might
question?
have to
Yeah,
Google
I'm
it.
about to say,
It's
I gotta
like
go
the
way
laws in
back.
place
Yeah,
that protect your information.
Okay.
And if somebody releases your information, you can sue them.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
against
really?
the law.
Like your job can't access your medical records.
Yeah.
Off the
Yeah.
rip.
Oh, let me call FedEx management. Motherfucker be asking me what I'm doing at the rig and shit. Like,
So do y'all have like patient client confidentiality?
Yeah, so that's right off the bat. Somebody call and be like, I want to know if such and such came in and enrolled. I can't tell you anything unless they sign a release of information. Even like amongst ourselves at work, we can't talk about clients in the hallway with the door open. None of those things. So everything is protected. It happens in that room. It stays in that room. It might get brought up during like meetings because we all like bounce off of one another to see if it's a way that we can help somebody that we feel like is not getting what they need. But can't tell anybody anything. Nothing.
shit.
Okay.
Except if you say you want to go kill yourself or kill somebody.
I was going to ask
Yeah.
you that. Is it like the same like a lawyer? Like, can I tell you anything? Like,
Basically.
but you just said it's not the same.
But
I
only
can't
if
tell you if I
some-
kill somebody. Like,
I mean, yeah, because there's a law that requires us to say something.
right.
So that's the only difference opposed to lawyers. If you say you kill somebody or you're going to go kill somebody or you're going to go kill yourself, we have to say something.
Got you.
Okay. So, say if I'm like suicidal, like I'm on the verge, what's the first step that you gonna take?
So what we'll try to do is, one, de-escalate, which would be using all kinds of techniques to kind of get the person to come down. But if it's like, no, when I leave here, I'm going to go kill myself, we're going to call the police.
Okay.
You're going to the hospital, crisis, wherever, and they'll more than likely put you in like an inpatient program for a few days, a few weeks, depending on how severe it is. But first, we'll try to de-escalate the person. And people lie, so if they say, it's really nothing we can do besides take your word on it. So if you say, like, that's just how I was feeling for this last 45 minutes, and 15 minutes later, you're like, I'm not going to kill myself. Like, you got to sign something before I let you leave, giving your word that you're not going to kill yourself. But if it's like you about to leave and you like, yeah, I'm about to go kill myself. As soon as I go around the corner, I'm calling the police. You're not going to jail, but you're going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Going somewhere.
Yeah, you can't go home, bro. Like,
Nah, I'm not letting you go.
let's figure this thing out.
Because then your family could literally sue us
Yeah.
because you told us you was going to kill yourself and we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So, like, first, we care about you, but two, like, I'm going to cover my own ass. I tried to help
First.
you and you didn't want it.
Right.
So
Have you ever been in that situation?
yeah, plenty of times. And usually I was able to kind of calm the person down, talk to them enough, and the next day it was like, come back or call me, and they called. So they still alive, but
Yeah, thank God.
They
That's a
made
good
it.
job.
but there have been situations where people was like, listen, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to tomorrow, and it's like, all right, well, I'm sending you to the hospital. Come see me when you get out.
Okay.
Bro, that question just kind of hit home for me a little bit.
I mean,
Well, cause my best friend, she committed suicide like a long
to hear
time
that.
ago. So yeah, so him asking that is kind of like sometimes I wish I would be like I could ask somebody like what I could have done or something like that. And so it's just like, have you ever had like a friend of somebody that was committed suicide or was going to commit suicide come like talk to you and be like, well, what should I do? Or
I have actually, like I said, my little brother had got killed in 2015, and one of his friends had like became like my brother, like Christmas, graduations, birthdays, like every day. And last month, well, April on the 1st, he used to always talk about killing himself. So he's been in my life for the last 7 years. I've known him since I was younger, but like that's my brother. Like to the point where like people thought my mom was his mom. He used to talk about how he was depressed and he wanted to kill himself, and I would talk to him, or it'd be like, all right, I'm gonna like give you this information, go here and get some help. But on April 1st, he actually did it.
no snap.
So like,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Right.
okay, I like tried. Like you only can do but so much.
Right.
Like I can send you the information. I can check in every day. I can tell you the things that you can try to do to like manage those things. But like sometimes it's like the thoughts are just too much. So like you can drop them off in front of the police. That don't mean they're not gonna go in there and try.
Right.
So like I have experienced that, and I think for a while it makes a difference. But then if they don't really take the effort to like really go get the help and be open minded to it, they're just going to succumb to whatever is going on in their mind.
Right.
You about to say something?
Yeah. Can you talk about like the work goes into therapy? Because a lot of people think you just go when you talk to somebody and you're healed.
Right.
And it's probably something you can talk about because you're also in therapy. Like the amount of work someone has to go through for themselves on that road of healing, because it is work.
Yeah. So therapy is not just coming in and talking about your problems. Like we have a treatment plan. So we got some goals you're going to do in the next however many amount of days, 60, 120, however. Like we have goals you're going to work on to kind of get to a space you want to get to. We have action steps that you're going to take to like get there. We have resources that you're going to utilize to improve your mood and being better at managing everything.
Right.
So like you aren't just talking like because we're gonna work on those goals. Those goals are gonna be reviewed every time we meet, and we're gonna determine whether you progressed on them or you regressed or you just at a standstill. And we actually like utilize like real like research techniques that like we utilize in a session. It might seem like I'm just talking to you, but it's a whole like years worth of research into why I asked you that question and the way that I asked you. That you don't realize I'm asking you that question, but it's to get you to a certain point.
Everything has a reason. It's not just a random question. Okay.
Everything has a reason. So the treatment plan, putting you in with certain resources, connecting you with other people, whether it be like some people do group therapy because they feel like they're the only person going through something. So it's a lot of technique and intention behind like the whole conversation. You might feel like you just talking for 60 minutes or however long, but like you don't realize you just did CBT or you did this or you did this or you did this, and like I'm getting you to the point to where it's like, all right, when this happens, I know how to deal with it.
How to react. Okay.
Yeah.
I never heard about like group therapy outside of like couples therapy or family therapy. Is it the same thing or is that separate?
So it's basically the same concept, but it's like with all random people.
Okay.
Who might have the same issues. Topics can be, it's very open. The topic can be based on what the group want to talk about. The topic can be what the therapist present. We do it for substance abuse. We do it for all children, everybody. You can do a group therapy session.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I can say, going back on that first question, I can say me being in therapy, like it definitely didn't help, but it's kind of like an onion. It's like layers you gotta peel back because the shit is so dug deep.
Rooted.
You really gotta push through. I don't know if I'm gonna say this or not, but you know,
Yeah, I know.
that situation, bro. That shit root.
Yeah,
I was a child. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still dealing with that shit to this day, like right now. But you know, every session is even it's like
It's a step
tiny
forward.
footsteps. It's
a
still
step forward.
it's still a footstep. So I definitely say you gotta really dig deep.
And be open minded.
Yeah, and be open minded, and you gotta be willing to like be an open book and face those tough scenarios and questions and shit like that. So I mean, it definitely broke me down. You know what? I'll say it. Y'all my loved ones, so I'm a rape victim, right? At first, I didn't know what it was doing to me because I was a child. I didn't know no better, so it was the norm. And then 4 or 5 years ago, not even 4 or 5 years, like my teenage years, I kind of had a realization that shit wasn't right. That shit was not normal. And then I got to another point where I was pissed off at everything because I felt like, why did this shit happen to me? And then I got to another point where I felt like I couldn't trust people. And then I got to another point where sex wasn't cool to me no more. It wasn't fun to me. See what I'm saying? And then I got to another point where I just didn't want to fuck or have sex. I didn't want to do nothing. And then I seen the rapist. She was across the street. And I didn't know what to do. Like first I wanted to hurt her. And then I was like, you know what? She's already suffering. I'm not worried about it. Now it's time to focus on me so I can get better and I can move on with my life. And every step of the way is like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm still suffering from that shit, bro. But it's I don't know, it's definitely getting better. But like I said, I still suffer from certain shit. And I'm trying to put it in the right words. I thank God for my therapist, bro. For real. Because without her, I don't know. I don't know. I get those thoughts, I ain't gonna lie. Not as much as I used to, but yeah. So, them layers, you gotta face them, John. You really do. And once you face it, I swear to God, it's like the best feeling in the world. So, yeah. Next question.
Nah, yo, that took a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Can I just say this
And
real quick, bro? Can I just say I'm proud of you, bro?
Definitely, if we went past it.
Yeah.
And for taking that step to go to therapy too, like that was a big step for you to do.
Facts.
So talk about it with somebody.
Yeah, because I got a point where it's like, I just was angry at everything. That's not me. Like, y'all know me, bro.
yeah.
I'm a cool guy. I fuck with people and shit like that. I like having fun, but I'm chill at the same time. But like the thing, like not trusting people, like I don't like feeling like that. Like you should be able to trust people.
Right.
But in like one of the sessions, she was like, that is why you don't trust people. My trust was taken so early.
Yeah, you was vulnerable.
Yeah.
You was a child.
He know.
You know? And like it's another reason why I don't like fuck with people and shit like that. But yeah.
Damn.
Sorry.
It's cool, bro. Like
That's why we're here. We're here to get deep.
Yeah, some people need to hear that.
Yeah.
They need. I'm pretty sure there's other people that's in that same exact situation,
Yeah.
and probably hearing you say that, maybe they'll take that step for therapy or whatever it is to get to the point where they can start healing. Like I said, it's a long road, especially stuff like that.
facts.
It's gonna take a while, but you gotta keep doing it.
And so to the people that's hearing this, I take your time, but definitely understand like it's help out here for you. It's help out here for you. You just gotta once you take that first step, it's a sell, bro. Like the boat is moving after that. Once you just take that first step, it's
keep going, right?
Yeah, it's limitless, bro. So, somebody else want to take a question real quick?
So
I'm sorry, bro.
Nah,
you good.
I just feel like
Nah, bro, like it's all good. Like
I ain't.
Look,
I really ain't
that you
playing on
feel
that.
comfortable saying
Yeah.
that, yo,
Yeah.
it's the big step.
Yeah.
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 No, like
Super
I'm just
serious.
yeah, like
I got a question.
go ahead, bro.
At what point did you realize you wanted to do this specifically as a therapist? Like, was it a moment like I want to help people go through their traumas and stuff?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever. I didn't experience it until like my second year of working.
Okay.
At first, it was just kind of like, listen, they didn't give me enough money. I knew Lincoln was gonna come through because that's just what Lincoln does. I'm just here.
Okay.
I'm just here. What am I going to do with a bachelor's in criminal justice?
Oh, okay.
Like, what am I going to do with that?
You made an audible, basically. You said, I'm going to use this shit somehow.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like, I'm here. I'm doing it. I care about y'all. Like, but right now, it's just a job.
Okay.
It was just a job.
Okay.
So I was like, my second year working. By now, I'm like working with people in drug and alcohol. So drug and alcohol, they have mental health illnesses. And I encountered a client, and they were struggling until they like got switched to me.
Okay.
And they was like clean. They was doing this. They got a job. They was finding somewhere to live. And I just was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm changing lives.
You see yourself make a difference.
I'm like, I'm changing lives. So I was like, all right, I can do this. I can do this long term. Because it was like, even once I was done school, it's like a next step you have to take. You do another set of hours like you do in grad school to get licensed by the state. And I'm like, I'm not even about to do that. I don't have no interest. And then it was like, after that, I was like, all right, now I got to do what I need to do so the state can license me. Which means I got to have an interest in this and not just be like, all right, it's a paycheck.
You got to go all in.
Yeah. So it wasn't until probably like 2019, 2020. And I was just like, all right, I'm making a difference.
I'm in here now. Okay.
Yeah.
It's good, John.
Let's tell you, see you had a question coming up.
Yeah, I was looking at one of my Johns. So, like, when you have like certain people have like parent issues and stuff like that. So my question is like, when you have a absentee parent, like how much does that affect a person? I don't know if you had like clients that's like that, but how much do they show that really affected them and like made them like how they are?
So initially they don't feel like it has any impact, but a lot of the time it shows up in their relationships, whether it be with men, women, or whoever they like. You know, whatever their preference is, it shows up in those things and like the way that they view themselves.
Okay.
Self-worth, your self-esteem, a lot of that is impacted because one of the first people that was supposed to, you know, take care of you and love you, in your eyes rejected you for whatever reason. So a lot of the time it shows up in how people move about the world and what they think about themselves. So that in turn impacts the situations and relationships they align themselves with.
Okay.
So at first it's hard to get them to realize, because like, I don't care, like if it's their dad, I don't care about him. It is what it is. But it's like, okay, but you over here with Tyrone beating you up the street because you felt like you never knew what a man was supposed to love you was like. So even with moms, men who have mom issues are very aggressive and negative towards women. So that first outlook of a man or a woman's role in your life was tainted. So a lot of the times it shows up in, you know, being promiscuous, having sex with anybody, or being aggressive towards the opposite sex. So, and you don't like yourself because you feel like they didn't like you.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Okay. Mine, you got something?
Yeah. I'm gonna lighten things up. It's something that come up on this podcast sometimes that we talk about. So, do you think that sex ties into mental health? Like sex and the porn you watch, does it like ties into like mental health and your sex life?
It can a little bit, because porn is fake.
You said porn is fake?
Porn is fake.
Yeah, you know that.
We know that.
Porn is fake.
Porn is fake.
Not amateur porn?
That's real.
Come on.
I mean,
Exactly.
that's
Amateur-
like
that's
the
real.
basics. They're doing things that you can do, but like the idea that
What you mean fake though? Like how was
Here go
porn
money.
fake?
like because it's set up and arranged to,
It's a performance.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a movie.
and
That's
the
not a
appeal
movie.
to a certain sense in your mind. Like it's not real.
I'm not
Like
following you.
the actual sex, okay, that's real, but the size of penises, the looks of vaginas, they're not like it's all put together to look good to whoever is watching it.
Yeah, because think about it, bro. Everybody, no homo. Everybody on porn got a big dick. I mean, in the real world,
No, homo.
some-
They be like average size. Like it's not always mandingos.
But most
Yeah,
of the
but
time,
you at the same time, you got motherfuckers with micro penises.
Another
like,
thing too, I know how cameras work though. Like
yeah, everything on camera was look big too. So.
Jesus Christ.
How the fuck you get over
but
here?
Because
But yo,
Yo,
this-
left turn.
I gotta
a
lighten
valid
shit up.
question. It was a
Yeah.
valid question, but
That's a good
porn
question.
is we gonna say fake for lack of a better term, but fake. And when you watch it a lot when you're younger, it creates unrealistic expectations to where like your partner probably won't be able to satisfy you because in your mind, sex is supposed to look like this. When it's like, sex don't look like that. You watch porn for the last 16 years, and then now at 18, you having sex for the first time, and you looking like, why can't I get into it?
you don't know money.
Why can't
we
you
ain't
get
talking
into it?
about you, motherfucker.
But this is why I can't get why y'all think porn is fake. Because I do the shit.
Yeah, everybody not porn stars. You should
Exactly.
go. You should go.
Big OnlyFans.
Apply. You want the application?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
That's the key.
But I'm just saying, like,
get
it's-
that money.
I don't see how y'all saying it's fake.
So you think it's like you don't have Twitter, but porn Twitter, bro, and like
It's ridiculous, yo.
Yeah, bro.
Yes,
That-
very
Ebony
so.
Backshots 101 is like
Dog.
two different things, bro. Like totally different things, bro.
See, I don't got
I'm pretty
Twitter.
sure I porn on the phone. Your porn on the phone ain't nothing like a porno. That,
You know.
what I'm saying? That Man Dingle did. I mean, well, I don't know. I'm just saying, bro. Like, bro, it's porno. But that's why I say, like, I don't watch porno at all because I know like that shit's not good for my mind.
It's, you know.
I don't get it.
It appeals to the same chemicals in your brain that like using drugs do if you watch it too much, which is why people develop porn addictions.
Yeah.
That pleasure principle.
Yes, you know.
Like, even like the porn stars on there, they don't like that shit.
You know.
Like, if you ever hear them like an interview, they don't like that shit at all. Like,
Yeah, a lot of them just be like, it's
It's a job.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
who-
really a job.
Who would like taking 12 dicks a day? Like,
you don't know that? I know somebody.
I mean, I do too, but like consistently though, like every day.
I mean that, but for real, listen to some of the interviews. That's like how they get some of the money, you know, that they average out.
Yo,
on.
it's crazy the money they make. Like they don't get paid that much.
No, like you gotta do some wild stuff to really get paid. Like actually, like all right, so
Yo, the men get like 200 a session.
Well, I know
bro.
men don't get shit, but
Yeah,
the
so,
females
but-
should be getting
Bro, they
dumb,
probably get like
Yeah,
$3
even
grand
chicks-
yeah,
even
but
chicks-
it's like
for
if-
like a gangbang.
for a guy.
goddamn.
Like you gotta get all hoes, like all 3 hoes for like 3,000.
Yeah, like it's
Like a stack of hoes.
it's
Real red.
How did we take this left turn?
I don't know, bro. Like we went from crying and now we talking about porn. Like,
And all 3 holes.
but yeah,
Sandbox.
no, it's
So
it's
a
yeah.
sex addict.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
Get into that
yeah,
because the
yeah.
important thing is.
Yeah, let's get to that. Yeah, let's turn it to that then.
What is a sex addict?
So the same thing as a regular drug addict, they are not able to manage their desire or use of porn or sex. It's an illness. Like it's an illness. You need it. You gotta like do it constantly. You are missing work. You are neglecting your family. The same things that people do for drugs, people do for sex.
Yeah, bro.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
For porn?
See,
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah,
sex addict.
You
I
missing
told
work
y'all.
for porn?
Yeah, dog.
I'm not a sex
Shit
addict.
wild, bro.
Actual sex,
You was thinking it.
No, you
having
just
sex with whoever.
You was thinking it.
Like people that shoot up whoever's drugs off of whatever needle because they need the high. So
Mm-hmm.
people with sex, they have sex with whoever, wherever, and that's just that.
Okay.
Just
Like,
gotta,
I-
just gotta get it done. You gotta. You
I
gotta
know
bust that
like
nut.
a sex addict, bro. Like like she can't be at work.
And it's a she?
Yeah, like
Damn.
she was masturbating at work like twice a day.
What?
Wow, that's crazy.
Like that's some addict shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta do that shit at work. Like you can't bust a nut after work, bro. You only got 8 hours. Like you can't. Like,
I think I banged out at work once.
Well, you're a horny deviant, so like,
I'm about to say, yeah.
No,
you mean,
I was working long shifts, like doing like.
yeah, you're a truck driver. Right?
No, before that life.
Oh, when you was like a regular guy.
I'm not gonna say what job, but I worked a lot of hours.
Nah, not
either way, man.
not gonna lie.
You told your chicken at work?
Yeah, at work before.
Oh, you serious?
Listen, I'm
both of y'all.
it's just listen, like some. I've had
Was young and horny, man.
Before
With a job.
before that,
I was too.
You have a certain
Bro.
back then. I had girls send certain stuff at a certain times. It's just like
Shit
the
was
wrong
poking through
time.
the pants.
Yeah, like it's just like, bro, like I'm at work right now.
That shit was busting. I had to let that shit go, nigga.
Yeah.
It get like that, but like
So-
it's never not like sex addict type stuff where I gotta be like, yo, I gotta leave work right now and I can't come. Like, no, it's just like,
You're
come
just
up,
horny.
come up. Just look,
But like this, like she was a dispatcher. I'm not gonna say where, but she was a dispatch. Like she would leave her shift, go to the bathroom or wherever the other spot was, and like,
oh no,
Yo, I'm glad you said that. It was this one lady, yo, at my first job, my first trucking job, yo. This white lady, she was a dispatcher. She was probably like in her late 60s, yo. She used to cut niggas checks to try and smash. Swear to God,
Yeah?
she was But when I say she was, remember the episode of Dave Chappelle when they was having sex, like rubber mail on each other?
yeah,
She was like that lady. Like I don't know why I thought of that, but she was like her. She was nasty.
gotta chill.
And my homie, he caught the bait. He caught the bait.
Well, you got to check.
horny deviant.
He said he got 1300.
He got to check, so I ain't mad at him.
1300 at the Dove Inn. Up, whatchamacallit.
Let's go back to another question.
Yeah, can we bring this back?
Let's get serious again.
Another thing is, I was telling Jug today. Jug had asked me about couples therapy, and I had to find out out for myself. But I was telling him before even getting into a relationship, do self therapy first before you hop into a relationship. Cause like, my bad, not to cut you off, but to cut you off.
That's his line.
People go into relationships unhealed, and then when they get into a relationship, the shit causes friction, and now the relationship fails. So what do you say to that? Like,
I disagree.
you disagree?
I disagree. I think that people are creating this narrative that you can't get into a relationship until like you've worked through the 28 years of trauma you've experienced or negative experiences you've had. But it's like, it seems that way because you aren't in a relationship with the right people.
I was gonna say that.
Okay.
The right person to help you heal yourself while you do therapy by yourself.
Okay.
I was definitely gonna say that.
It's who you placing yourself in a relationship with that makes it seem like you are unhealed and you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but then at the same time, now you putting all your burdens on this person.
No, you're not. You putting them on your therapist. But I'm still in this relationship. But in a sense, you are a better partner than I've had before. That it doesn't seem like I got to fight with you about the things that I went through and how I'm choosing to deal with them. You are understanding of what I've experienced. You're understanding of the fact that I'm in therapy and why I need therapy. And you supporting that. Not so much as like, I'm unloading on you and I'm unloading on my therapist. And every time we get in an argument, it's like, oh, because X, Y, and Z happened 10 years ago. And it's like, no, that's the difference. Sometimes it's not the fact that you have a partner. It's just that you are using them as your therapist as well, either because you don't have one or because you feel like that's what a partner is. And that's not at all what it is.
Okay.
I agree with her.
So you don't think your partner is your therapist too?
I mean,
Just to some extent?
to some extent.
I feel like they should be, to some extent.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like the sole purpose of the conversations and interactions.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yo,
I mean, I don't know if I can put it out there, but you had that question, right?
what?
Because you were saying something like you being in a relationship and then.
Oh, I mean,
If you don't want to get into it,
no. It's cool. Like, I mean, technically, it's kind of like that's kind of how it was. Like, not to say like fully get into it, but like one of my relationships, I was like, I felt like I couldn't fully be with the person because I wasn't healed fully from a lot of things and a lot of trauma that I had before her, and it kind of like I kind of felt like when we broke up, I kind of felt like that was the reason why we broke up. But you just saying that kind of made me realize like maybe it really wasn't just me. Maybe it was like she wasn't the right person to be with, because I felt like sometimes during the relationship she was listening to some of the things that I would tell her, but then she would kind of twist it and manipulate it to be like, well, maybe if you did this, this, and this, it would be different here, and there. And I'm just like, I started to fall into it. So it's just like, with you saying that, it's just like, all right, looking back, it's just like, all right, she probably was not the right person to be with. So, but I don't know I don't want to say like I'm kind of like on both sides, but I'm kind of like on both sides of what she's saying, but also being like, I really kind of feel like I should be healed before I get with somebody else too. But I definitely believe what she's saying.
The only narrative for like you having to be fully healed is like we just talked. That shit's work. It takes a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna wait till you 40 to get in a relationship.
Yeah, no, they ain't. Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
my thing is, it's just like it's like finding the right person. But for me, it's just like finding someone who has patience with you and understand what you're going through, and like legit understands that it might be times where you don't feel like talking or you don't feel like doing something that they want to do because of that, and they just gotta understand, have patience with that. That's how I look at it.
That's a fact. And she definitely didn't have the best patience either. So there's that too.
Yeah, I can attest to that. But that's another episode. So another thing was going into therapist. I had this thing where I was like, I need a black woman, and she has to be older than
Remember
me.
you asked me
I wanted you to ask
Yeah.
about that.
So, do you think that holds like a real importance, or it really don't matter?
And to piggyback off that, what is it with black men and that whole thing of having a older black woman as their therapist? Is it a like mom thing? Does it like stem to that, or you think so?
Yeah, it very much could be. And I think it might be a little bit more of like a form of embarrassment, like to a small extent, because don't know, like a lot of the time black men that I see and we like looking at each other and we just about the same age, they just looking at me like
Like, you want therapist?
like how old are you? Like, and I'm like,
I follow you on the gram.
see me, that's a very real reality for me is working with people that are younger and kind of in the same areas as me. But a lot of the time is you looking at me and it's like, what the hell are you about to tell me? So
I mean, yeah,
it could be like a little bit more so of not being comfortable with talking to somebody that's the same age as you or in the same age range, or you just want somebody that kind of gives you like a motherly feel, or you could be embarrassed to sit in front of somebody that looks like y'all were running the same circles and telling them you depressed and you sad and you this and you that, whatever that may look like. So it's those three things.
Yeah, I think for me, I was just like, I need someone that's understands the black struggle, quote unquote, and then like the motherly love thing. I think I was looking for that too.
That's why I said that.
Yeah, and then I don't like niggas, so so it's just like but you think it don't? Does it hold an importance? Like
it holds an importance because, and I'm not saying that if you are black, don't get a white therapist or a therapist of another race or culture. Work with whoever feels good to you, but it makes a difference for black people because nobody else gets our experiences in life but another black person. I can't sit in front of Emily and tell Emily that like my mom used to whoop my ass because I was talking to boys at the 9 o'clock. She gonna be looking at me like that's abuse, and I'm like, no, I deserve that ass whooping. She said don't talk to nobody after 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
No, where's your mom? Let's go lock her up.
Yeah, like
Let's go DHS.
confront your mom. She'll tell me go confront my mom about the abuse, and my mom be looking at me like you didn't listen.
You want to beat your ass now? You want another ass whooping?
You didn't listen.
Let me give you some cry about. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so like a lot of their, I won't say advice because we aren't there to give advice. We're just there to facilitate your growth and your healing journey. But a lot of the things that they'll kind of encourage you to do won't fit for your culture. Like, so now I'm beefing with my mom and my grandma and my aunt because a therapist of another race or culture told me to do this, and it's like, in my culture, that's disrespectful. But if I'm sitting in front of somebody that look like me, they know, like, all right, well, I know how it can get, so maybe you should approach it this way to where it doesn't, come off in whatever ways we know is disrespectful in our culture. So it makes a difference, but sometimes even getting a black therapist, it just might not be a fit. So I say be open, but if you feel like that's what you need, somebody to relate to your culture and your experiences, then sure.
Right.
Go for it. I think it's very important because there's not a lot of us in the field to begin with. And there's not a lot of us that get therapy to begin with. So if you got to sit in front of a white person or an Asian person and tell them all your business, that's uncomfortable. It's going to make you not want to come back if you felt like they don't even get what I'm talking about.
Right.
So it's important, but don't box yourself in to just go to a black therapist because you're black. Go to whoever you feel like is understanding of what you're dealing with.
Right. So I'm noticing like a lot of people our age are open to therapy, but the older generation, they're more closed-minded to it. Why do you think that is?
Church and religion.
Really?
I knew
I
it.
second that.
Yep.
Church and religion.
100%.
Give it to God. Pray about it.
yeah.
Go to church.
That's all
It's
you
like
need.
pray about it. It's my mind is telling me to kill myself every time I wake up. You talk about
Right.
pray about it.
They're gonna say that's Satan.
I'm
Yep.
well,
Exactly.
he's still in my mind. What
Right.
like what am I supposed to do?
Go
like,
to church again.
Go to church and tell God take Satan out my mind, but it's like no, it's not. It's not Satan. I have mental health issues. I have a chemical imbalance. I have experienced trauma. You traumatized me. Like church is not the only thing
Church
that's gonna
traumatized
help
me.
me. Yeah, like that's not the only thing that's gonna help me. So for black older people, it's church and God and talk to your family and don't say nothing and don't do this. And it's like, but I'm suffering. Like, yeah, church is gonna help. I'm gonna add church in with the therapy. But like I can't just rely on, praying to God that I'm not gonna be mentally ill no more. Or I'm not gonna feel the ways that I feel anymore and then expect it to do nothing. Like and if we use in church, there's something somewhere in the Bible, don't quote me. But like a statement is like faith without work is dead. So you want me to go and pray and then wouldn't the therapy be the work?
Yeah.
Damn.
Good point.
Drop the scripture.
But it's church.
You're supposed to drop the bomb on that one. Supposed to drop the
It's
explosive.
Oh
on
no.
that one.
It's church and
Forgot
religion.
what button
Yeah,
it
but
was.
no, you definitely right.
Church and religion and slavery.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Slavery.
Yep.
They used to say black people were crazy and mentally ill for wanting to escape. Like there's a whole diagnosis. I did a whole research paper on it. Slavery instilled in black people that like you are mentally ill for wanting to be free. So it's kind of like I'm not about to say anything. I'm not about to do anything because one, now I try to escape it now and they think I'm crazy. So now they trying to do all kinds of experiments on me to see what's wrong with me. When it's like, bro, I just don't want to be a slave.
Damn, that's crazy. So, do you like want to dig deep in that, like how slavery mentally fucked up everybody for the next 500 years or so?
So I can't speak on how it impacted people, like as far as like in the mental health scope. So basically, it was like mental illness. It was called drapetomania. I can't spell it off the top.
Yeah, we gonna look
but,
that up.
But basically, it's what's now schizophrenia.
Okay.
They overdiagnosed black people, or diagnosed them with this for wanting to be free and saying that they were sick, they were hearing voices, they were crazy, they were psychotic, and that was their way of like remanding a lot of black people during slavery's times to, institutions and back into slavery and all those other forms of servitude because like you're crazy, you can't be free, like you're sick, but it's like. They weren't slick. They just knew that what was happening to them was wrong. So a lot of the time, like as time went on, black people were diagnosed with this, and it became schizophrenia and all these other things. So black people historically just became overdiagnosed with severe mental illnesses or illnesses in general, ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar, like black people are overrepresented in a lot of these diagnoses because it started back then where they were just throwing them at people for wanting to just be people and treated as people.
I always wondered that because it's like people go to school, like kids go to school and shit, and then their nurse automatically put ADD.
Yeah, just
Like, no, he
blanket
just
term.
he just a hype young boy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know. They just throw those terms on kids like
quick.
with like the instance and just like.
He had an extra bowl of cereal today.
Nigga had candy this morning for breakfast. Like,
Yeah, like
young boy just wanted to color outside the lines for a little bit. Like, goddamn, like, hey. But yeah, that. Damn, I ain't never think about that. Like,
that's really crazy.
so that like trauma is like really deeply rooted.
Yeah, so now you don't say anything.
All right. To piggyback on what you said, 'cause you said a lot of people in our age group are seeking therapy. I see another side where they just like, fuck therapy. I don't need that. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I was like, and I was talking to my homie the other day. Like, this nigga is a lean head,
Oh no.
perked out, bro. And I was like, bro, why do you do that shit? He like, cause I suppress my feelings. He outside, so he getting a mix. He's like, bro, I'm just trying to suppress my feelings. I'm like, bro, like, you killing yourself for one. Two, you really do need the therapy you say that you don't need. Like, at least talk. I be trying to talk to him. He don't want to talk to me at all, or nobody at that. So, with that, like, what you think I can do for him? Because, like, he's out of it. Like, I remember we had a conversation. He just be dipping. I'm just like, bro, this shit is not okay.
Damn.
But I know the root of his problem. He outside. He getting busy. He's seeing shit that he should not be seeing. He only 21. He shouldn't see shit he shouldn't be seeing. What do you think I could do for him?
Honestly, the only thing that you can do is point him in the right direction. Because one, addiction is a symptom
Yeah.
of everything else.
Yeah.
But if he isn't ready to even just stop getting high enough to experience his emotions, to realize he need to go get some help, he's not going to do it. The only way he would probably do it is if he get arrested and they mandate him to treatment.
Okay.
So the only thing I think that you really can do is keep providing him with the resources and being there as much as you can, but realizing that he's not going to do it if he doesn't want to.
Okay.
That's really all you can do. Is, listen, you should do this. Go check out this. Like, that's all you can do. Addiction is hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
One,
Yeah.
addiction is hard. And if that person in active addiction is not willing to do it, you're wasting your time. And not saying like you wasting your time like you aren't doing the right thing, but you're wasting your time because they are not listening. They are not listening.
Yeah.
So provide them with resources, encourage them to go to places. Listen, there's even places you could walk up in and detox.
Yeah.
Give him all that information, but if he don't want to go, he's not going to go. And if you get him to go and he get in there and telling people he don't want to be there, they're going to let him walk out the door because they can't force him to
They
stay.
can't force him, man.
Only people that can force him is probation, parole, and the court.
Yeah.
That shit hurt, bro.
other thing, bro, withdrawal is a bitch. Like trying to get off them Johns. Like if he on them like lean and perks heavy, like they like nodding off.
Yeah.
It's in his system bad. So that mean he really on them Johns if he nodding. And that withdrawal when you trying to get off that shit that hurt.
Yeah.
So I see why a lot of guys like tap out. It's a bad feeling. And that shit is expensive high too. Lean like $3,000 a pint now.
Is it?
Yeah, lean high now.
God damn.
Before when it was back in the day, it was probably like you can get it for like 5, 6, 7. Now it's like 4 grand, and it's hard to find.
But cause the shit is like.
And as far as pills, everybody got pressure Johns now.
But the thing is, it's so like
Fentanyl. It's fentanyl and everything.
it's so deeply rooted in these young boys. Like, where are they getting this shit from?
That's a great question, bro. That's a great question.
Music, and the people they look up to, which goes back to the music.
Yeah.
So they influencers is like,
Yep. And like we said on the last pod, it ain't really no old heads like it was back in the day. Like
None. At least none.
so the old head is somebody that's 2 years older than they are. Like they old head 20. And you just said your man 21, so, and he strung out. So like he's somebody old head probably.
He just passing shit down.
Yeah.
Like even rap, like even social media, like that plays
That's another thing too.
Crazy a part of these young bulls.
Bro,
like,
just think like lean been popular for the past probably like 10 years now. Like on a on a mainstream like level, like
Yeah,
on the mainstream. I was about to say lean is like a Philly thing.
it's been
like,
around for like for years, forever.
Like,
but like on a mainstream level, like it's been popular.
Man.
Yeah, that social media influence. Like, you think that how much of part you think that plays in people? Period. Not even just kids, like adults and all that shit.
I think it plays a really big part because we only post on social media what we want other people to see.
The highlight reel. Yeah,
that's all. We post all the good parts and not like all the either work it took to accomplish whatever it is that you posting or like the struggle behind like that picture of you in Mexico. Like, girl, you ain't pay your rent so you can go to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates like unrealistic expectations to people of what their life should look like. And what you should be doing. At 28, you thinking like, all right, everybody on your timeline done bought a house and you still renting an apartment. You think you behind. But it's like she had to go buy a house because she was sleeping on somebody's couch. So it creates like unrealistic expectations of like where you should be in life and what you should be doing and how your life should look at a certain point that you start doubting yourself and getting angry at yourself because you're not doing everything that everybody else is doing. And it's like, but y'all situations aren't the same. Y'all situations don't align. So now you sad and depressed because you feel like you lacking and you behind everybody you done went to school with, when it's really like, you right where you're supposed to be, but social media have you thinking like, all right, you're supposed to do this at 25, you're supposed to do this at 30, you're supposed to be doing this at 35, you should be making this amount of money. Everybody on social media make over $100,000, and that's bullshit.
Definitely bullshit.
Everybody on social media is in the six figures, and that's bullshit. But now, because you make your little 65, you broke. But it's like half of them is working a full-time job, driving Uber, doing this on the side, selling lashes to say they make $100K, and you more than halfway there with just your one job. So like it creates unrealistic expectations, and people get real depressed and sad because they feel like they don't match up. But social media is whatever we want you to see. So not saying it's not real, but you don't know the background story behind that picture.
That's right. Yo, that's crazy, yo. Like, I literally just came, like, to the realization of that, too. Like, not that long ago. Like, because I had a few people in my life, not going to say who, that, like, used to put me down just because I'm working a regular 9 to 5 or whatever. So be it, and be like, you need to get here, and this, and that, and you need to be this, and this person. And I'm just like, every time I see this person on Instagram, he posting this, he posting that, and I'm just like, I'm never gonna get there doing this. And like I really fell into a little deep, dark little spot where I'm just like, I'm gonna have to do all this extra shit just to get to where he is or where they are. And it's just like, it's crazy, like coming out of that and realizing like I don't have to do that, and doing what I'm doing now in school and all this other stuff is going to be enough for me. Like, it's like literally the greatest feeling in the world, because like she said, that you don't know the struggle behind that picture that they posted. And it's just like, bruh, like I'd rather do what I'm doing now than going through probably half the stuff that person was doing. So I'm just like, it's crazy. Like, social media really is like really accessible, bro. Like, it really is.
Like, even like when Meek be like motivational purpose only, that's
I don't
bullshit.
believe that shit.
Yeah,
You full of shit when you say that.
That nigga flexing.
Because you just making like everybody jealous of you.
But even with that, it's like a lot of like girls I dealt with that I thought was like out of my league because they got like thousands of followers and Chanel bags and all this shit. But I pull up, they like we're in a room in North Philly. Like, and all they got is that one bag that they like. You see him with like all the time. Like, this bitch came by Uber to get back home. Like if I drop her off at Broad Street, she at Broad Street. Like,
that's it. You walking or
she beating them Balenciagas. Like,
I would tell you that story about this when I went to the Steak 48 with this chick.
No.
Like,
Tell it.
Dog.
Let's hear it, food man. That's what they call you in Discord.
Yeah.
You the food guy.
I'm definitely the
Ladies, y'all want a food date? Hit Woosah. He trick off on food dates.
Stop saying my whole name on this podcast, nigga.
But you said my whole first and last name.
You definitely did.
Like,
Definitely
it was
did.
it was professional. Like,
I'm being professional.
like somebody gonna reach out for, like after this one. Like,
I'm trying to
This
ladies
is the
reach
second
out.
time Money did that. No,
he's like, bro, like, stop. Use, bro, it's use. You know this. Like, but it's like,
Back to you tricking off. Go ahead. Let's hear
tell your
it.
story,
we went
man.
to
Mr.
steak.
Steak
We went to
48.
steak 48. You know how like it's not super expensive, but it's expensive.
Player
like,
shit, nigga. This is minimum 500.
yeah, you
250 your plate.
gotta spend that.
That's a little bag.
Yeah. But you know, we had dinner date, blah blah blah. I paid, of course. The man in me is gonna pay. So I'm like, yo, can you like tip bull?
You had to ask for her to tip.
Huh?
She's not
Yeah,
classy.
that's a red
That's a
flag.
yeah.
I had asked her tip bull. She said, yeah, let me go to the bathroom real quick. But all right, whatever. She come to the bathroom like, you gonna tip bull or no, so we can leave? So like, yeah, I got you. You can see the Cash App notifications coming through her phone, bro. She went to the bathroom to ask somebody
Yo,
to send her cash or Cash App so she could tip bull.
That's out of pocket, yo.
And then like she had a
Disgusting.
what's them bag called? Teflon bag. But the bag was empty.
Ain't
Like
nothing
why you
in there?
nothing? Like
Not a wallet or anything.
no wallet, no cash.
Not even the plastic that the bag come with.
No. Like you ain't no weed in there or nothing. Like this was the bag. But this was like this what motherfuckers be doing, bro. They be getting all this shit and don't have nothing in it.
No loud.
You got $100,000 bag, you ain't got $100,000 in it. Like that
Not-
don't make sense to me at
not
all.
a half a perk. Not nothing.
No condom, no tampon,
No henny.
no wig. Yeah,
not a port, nothing.
What kind of
Goddamn.
thought is this?
bro.
Like-
I swear it was like
Shoot,
Was the big
It was-
one or
the medium John.
the little small John?
Yeah, nice little.
This one?
It's like it's,
Yeah,
okay.
no, like about this big.
she couldn't have a wet nap in that joint.
They ain't have nothing. No, like how you come outside with no bread, bro? How you go to dinner date with like no money at all?
Because you supposed to.
And why do I gotta ask you
I'm
to
about to say,
tip?
yeah, because you was supposed to pay for
That was on
everything.
mine.
That was on mine.
Mine is you supposed to pay for everything.
I paid for dinner. Like that was a hefty tab.
Yeah,
And
it don't
on
matter.
Mine, you supposed to pay for everything.
And then had dumb weird ass like hype to take pictures, bro. Like, come get the fuck in the car so we can go to the fuck home.
And you wasn't
You
in that
want to
one
show
picture. I
everybody
bet.
where she at?
Huh?
You wasn't in that one picture. I bet.
Well, you know, first of all, I don't really care like take pictures anyway, but
I'ma still.
nah.
I cut the.
she was
I need
flexing.
you gotta have my
Yeah.
arm in the picture, bitch. Show my tattoo or something like. let them know it's money, bitch.
I gotta
like,
represent.
Yeah.
So we know off on a little tangent, but my bad. Like,
That's wild to me, though.
Steak 48.
Yeah, nah, bro. Ain't no way.
That bitch wild.
Well, everybody know if you hit up you at least gotta pay for tip.
Yeah, at least pay for
at least,
tip.
but not if it's me,
That's
bro.
like a law. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
law.
like-
You would
That's
think,
law.
but common sense ain't fucking common. So
That's
Not no more, at least.
that shit was never common.
Well, yeah.
what?
Common
Like,
sense.
Common sense.
Like if someone treats you, you should at least be able to pay for it.
pay the tip.
Yeah.
That's the bare minimum. It's like what 15-20% of the bill.
After the dinner, did she fuck your brains out?
Well,
No,
Did she gun you?
it was like a week later.
After the steak 48?
Yeah.
I need 48 dick sucks.
Well,
Yo, like what? You tripping?
no, because first, anyway, I was just like, I just wanted to go home because like,
Yeah.
He said I was done.
heifer, what are you doing, bro? Like, how you come
well,
out
at
the
work
crib with no
again.
bread, bro?
But once we got in the car, I'm like this with it.
gotta chill. But
Yo, but no,
To
she
bring it
just,
back.
I was just
Steak
like,
48. No. All right, if it was like a Longhorn, I ain't gonna pull a Longhorn out. But steak 48? Nah, I'm
you
treating
should have like chewed the slammer.
I'm the honey pack. I'm pulling out the honey pack. That
I
left
should have 0.5. Yeah, you right.
that leftover steak, I'm pouring honey pack on that shit, and I'm yeah.
I feel you.
I'm in eye contact. So,
So,
you know.
Can we get back
on.
He might be a horny deviant. Can you help this nigga? Like,
Give him some reference.
We just clarified. I'm not a sex ed.
No, he didn't say sex ed. He said horny deviant. There's a difference.
like, you on the verge of this shit, bro.
Jesus Christ. But back to the matter at hand.
Go ahead, baby. Yo.
I don't even know. I'm fucking lost right now.
I can keep bleeding if y'all want me to.
We're gonna find somewhere.
You just be over
Wait,
this
so
nigga.
I got a question. So what percentage, like roughly, between men and women, like seek therapy? Do you think? Like, is it more men or is it more women?
It's definitely more women.
Yeah.
I think it's like 25% to like 13%.
So
Are you serious?
that's wild.
You lying.
So
Because you know they gotta include all the other genders, so it's not.
right. Well, yeah, of course. So why do you think?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Right.
We're all inclusive here at the sandbox.
So why do you think that is? Like,
So I think there's a lot of reasons why. One, because men are told to like be a
tough.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, get over that shit.
I
Be
hate
tough,
that.
don't
dog.
cry, boys don't cry, this, that, and the third. So most of the times, I feel like across all cultures, that's told to boys. So when he's a man and he's depressed and he's angry and unfulfilled with his life and he's thinking about killing himself, he's not saying anything because that belief is instilled in his head. Like, people don't realize that like 75% of suicides are men.
Yo, that's crazy, yo.
Yeah, that number's crazy, bro.
Because you're
really
telling
hate
them not to say nothing when they are 5 and 3 and somebody do something that hurts their feelings or they fall and scrape their knee. You telling them not to cry. So it's because they're being told like boys don't cry, boys don't do this, don't none of that. So now they're adults and they don't know how to get the help that they need.
Yo, I really hate that. Like, honest to God,
What's that?
like I hate that. Like,
Like the man up thing?
We was told
like the
to
man up.
basically
Yeah, like
don't show no emotions.
Yeah, you can't have emotions. You can't show feelings. Like, bro, like that's wild. Like, that's like saying like if I'm in love with my woman, like I can't say that I'm in love. Like, type things. Like, of course you're gonna say it, but it's just like that's kind of where it kind of gets to sometimes. Like,
Hey.
dudes just really can't really be emotional.
I feel like the older I get, the more I like find myself unlearning things I was taught growing up.
Yes.
And I can see that with a lot of the like people I hang with, like y'all like doing the same things. Like I'm noticing it too. And that I don't know what it is, but like I say, I definitely do see a change within guys in our age bracket as far as seeking out therapy and opening up talking. Like look how you just opened up on Mike about, you know, his situation.
Right.
Like it's rare you get that. And I'm seeing that a lot more.
That's good, John. Though, but 75%. That's
high as hell.
That's high as hell.
I wouldn't think it would be that high.
Yeah,
And then like even like the man up thing, you try to talk. Like, you ever been in a situation where you try to talk to like one of your guy friends and you just be like, nigga, get over that shit, bro. Man, it's funny. Like,
Yeah.
that shit ain't good, bro. Like, that shit ain't good at all.
Dismissive.
that kind of goes back to like how I was when I told y'all a couple weeks, you know, when we first started this, and like it was times I felt like I really couldn't tell y'all certain things because not saying that y'all would be like, man, you know, get the fuck out of here, you know, man up, nothing like that. Just
Because we definitely not that.
yeah, it's just like one, but it still was that
It was a
feeling.
expectation you thought that you would get from us.
Yeah, like it's just like a little, you know, toughen up a little bit type thing. But I knew the fact that y'all would talk to me about it. But I felt like eventually you might be like, man, you might want to just, you know, just toughen up a little bit type
Yeah,
thing. But
it's
yeah,
like not want to be vulnerable. That's what it comes down to.
Exactly.
Because when you're vulnerable, you know, you get a chance to get punched.
Right.
You know, you get a chance to get hurt.
Right.
And you know, kind of like environments you grew up on, you can't really do that.
right.
You're at the wrong time, wrong situation. It could be a death sentence, kind of. So I think that carries over on like an emotional thing in other aspects of life, especially in like relationships and like friendships. Certain things you're not gonna want to tell somebody because of judgment or how they will look at you. So I mean, it's getting better, especially because like our old generation, like they don't show no emotions
At all.
a lot. Now, I mean, I've seen some old heads like over time got a little soft and certain shit, but like they still like certain things they just not going to do.
Right.
Like they're just stuck in their ways. But it's getting better. But my question for you would be like the next generation, the kids, the 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Do you think it's getting better, or they're falling into that same trap where they got to be hard and tough?
No, I think it's getting better. Because most of those kids will be raised by the people like in our age range that are going to therapy, that are open about their experiences and the things that they encountered that was negative or changed who they was as a person. So I think that the kids to come will have a better chance at being able to like manage their emotions and take care of their mental health, because we're the ones that are raising them.
Got you. That makes sense.
And I was going to say that y'all don't have kids, so, and I do. Me having kids, it definitely made me like a lot more vulnerable, especially having girls. Like, so I gotta like really, have heart to hearts and talk to them about certain things that I wouldn't, talk to about with my average friend, you know. That's it.
Some more bars, bro.
Get deep with the situation and stuff like that. Like, goddamn.
He says all you get from
Goddamn.
I ain't
Like,
too deep.
Go ahead, Tay. It's what you get.
yeah, but no, I just is dang, I was expecting to be over just that quick, but because money
Go
just is
ahead.
like, yeah.
I kind of got a question. It might be a little off topic. Is there like a direct link between like kids getting more therapy and then like violence? Because like we live in Philly, it's fucking violent, and it seems like every other day, every week, I see another shooting of like an 18-year-old or someone young. Do you think that if they had more opportunities to get that therapy to work what they're going through, it can be a difference in terms of violence in the city?
I definitely think it would be, because they, like you said, they're seeing a lot of things. Their classmates are just dropping like flies. Their uncles are getting killed. Their dads. So I think if like it was easy to get therapy and people were a little more open, that it'll prevent like those kids becoming the kids that's running around shooting everybody.
Okay.
But
Do you think it's easy enough, like, for kids? So you think, should that be something that, like, maybe the high school should, like, provide that more, or just easier for them to get that outside of school, or?
That's a good question.
I think it should be both, because most of the time, like, when you get, like, help from your school, it's because you don't behave.
Yeah.
Or your grades aren't where they should be, and they aren't really trying to help you figure out, like, why don't I behave? Like, why are my grades slipping? Because, like, my dad got killed a year ago before I started high school, and now you just see that I just don't have the grades that you think I should. So it's usually, like, it's supposed to be, like, a proactive approach, but a lot of the time they don't realize, like, it's reactive. This kid already experienced so many things, but you just see that they, don't listen in class, they talk too much, or their grades aren't where they should be. So you like, all right, let's get them diagnosed with this, and we're going to recommend medication, and we're going to recommend this, and go see the guidance counselor when you're having a tough time. Opposed to really, like, having some, like they have school counselors, yes, and I'm not negating, like, what they do, but, like, how much can they really help you 8 to 3 with a school full of kids?
That's true.
So, like, it should be more so, like where I work currently, we do see children as young as 5 years old. So,
Damn.
we see kids, but I think it need to be a little bit more accessible. And it's not, and if I'm being honest, it's not easy to get therapy. It's not easy. So I think it should definitely become more accessible, like on the school level.
Okay.
I was going to ask you that.
How would you do it?
How easy is it, and is it as expensive as people think it is to get therapy?
So no, it's expensive. Depending on like your insurance and all of those other things, it can be as expensive. Because me personally, I pay $90 an hour, like for 1 hour a week. So that $90 could go to a bill for real, but like that's a bill. So it can be expensive because people can charge from $90 an hour to $50 and for half an hour to $2 something an hour.
Wow.
$2.50 if they wanted to. But not to say it like this, but like a lot of people in like the inner city, they get insurance through welfare.
Yeah, you're right.
It's free.
Yeah, that's why.
It's free. Like
it?
therapy is free. Just show up and get them your insurance information. Welfare covers behavioral health.
Didn't know that.
It's free.
The more you know.
Another thing, so a lot of people might not know that it is free.
Yeah. Maybe that
We're not
might
educated on it.
Yeah, so like if it's a community-based agency, so any agency in the city that's funded by CBH, which is the City of Philadelphia's Behavioral Health Department, if they are funded by CBH, it's paid for through welfare. You don't pay anything. And even if you do, if you have like your own insurance, the copays are usually $20, maybe $30, if that. But if you have welfare insurance and you go through an agency, community-based, funded by CBH in the city, welfare will pay for it. You pay nothing.
Man, you was about to ask a question?
Nah. Hello?
Nigga,
I'm not gonna hear myself for a second. Nah, I think I'm pretty much out of question. You know what? I did. Back to the school thing. How, if you could set it up for high school or whatever level of school, how would you do it in terms of like how they'll have access to it and like the impact they can possibly have?
I think I would do it kind of like the same, approach they get them involved with, like the guidance counselor. Like they usually meet with them throughout their years at school to like figure out college and all of that stuff. But when it's like usually those problematic kids that they deem problematic, it's kind of like setting them up the same way. Like, so this next 4 years, we're going to figure it out. And then like on your way out the door, I'm going to set you up with somebody that you can still see. Kind of like guidance counselors. I'm going to set you up with schools and wherever else in these point people that you're going to interact with to either go to college or trade school or whatever the case may be, but kind of like setting it up the same way and like offering, outside of, not saying that school counselors can't be mental health counselors because our process is the same. The test is just different.
Okay.
But offering that aspect of it too, opposed to like just giving me school counseling and you focusing on my behavior and my academics.
It's not enough.
Yeah. So basically offering it the same way, set it up to where the guidance counselor is like set up to interact with the kids as soon as they come in and periodically doing things in the classroom about college and the next steps, doing the same thing with like a mental health therapist.
Okay.
I kind of want to do like a little. Can we do like a 5-minute therapy session right now?
A 5-minute therapy?
Yeah.
It's gonna
I already talked to my therapist a while back.
charge like $5
For the sake of the. Huh?
For it's gonna be like $5 for 5 minutes.
She ain't free, bro.
I got some gas money for you.
We'll take that.
But so my father passed about 2 months ago, I want to say. And me and my father hasn't had the best relationship. I didn't meet my dad until I was 18. And then we tried to build something, but then it got to a point where I found myself wanting a relationship more and wanting to build more than he was. And then we got to a little situation where shit went left. So then I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I'm cool. I don't. And if something inside of me just doesn't care no more. And then when he passed away, I felt nothing. Like nothing at all. Like I was at work when I heard it. Hung up the phone, kept delivering packages. My question to you is there something going on with me that I was that careless about my father's death?
I don't think it was like carelessness, but a lot of the time when we grieve deaths of people, it's because of who they are to us and what they have been to us. Mm-hmm. Outside of who he is to you, what has he been to you?
A donor.
So how can you really feel like on a deep level of what you expect your grief to look like? Grief look different each time somebody dies. So you might be hysterical when somebody died 3 years ago, and then somebody could die 6 months later, and it's just kind of like, I haven't cried yet, and it's been 3 years or something like that. So like each time grief can be different. So it could be like the fact that you didn't really have a relationship with him. You didn't really know too much about him to care enough about him outside of him being the person that got your mom pregnant.
Yeah.
So it's like it wasn't that you was careless, it's just that those reactions are emotional and connection based. So if I have no connection with you, it's like, damn, that's sad, you died. Like, sorry to hear that, but like I don't know you enough to be distraught, to cry and to be sad. It's like when you hear about somebody who got shot, it's kind of like, dang, that's fucked up. I'm sorry. But you're not crying every time somebody gets shot.
Yeah.
because you don't know that everybody that done got shot.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same token, like when Kobe died, like nigga, I was in the crib boo hooing. Like, I don't like know
But
Kobe
you
at all.
formed a connection to him based off of like what you grew to like about him.
Okay.
What did you like? You grew to like him. You grew up watching him. You grew up relating to whatever it was that you felt like you related to him on, and that was that. But like with somebody you personally know, and you felt like I should have had all of these feelings and connections with you, and you never gave them to me because you didn't want to. How can I be upset you aren't here?
Okay.
So it's not like something is wrong with you. I feel like you reacted like anybody who would having had that experience with somebody that just in your eyes is kind of like you didn't even really care about me. Not saying that's how you feel, but like sometimes that's the thought process. You didn't even really care about me. I mean, I'm sad you died because you died. I'm not sad you died because I'm missing something. A lot of the time, the grief is the fact that you won't see that person anymore. If you already weren't seeing them, what are you going to miss?
Jesus Christ.
God damn, that's
Dropping gems.
I'm good at what I do.
Damn,
I'm good at what I do, okay? But I'm just saying, that's usually what grief is. The lacking that's going to come from that death.
all right. You got anything else?
That was actually crazy. That was
Check my notes.
Yeah, so
I was about to say.
back to black people on social media. Another thing I see a lot is people being fixated on toxic relationships. Why do you think that is?
I don't think they're fixated on it. I think that is genuinely what they have been told is a form of love from social media and music and their friends and all of these things. So like when they encounter something that like is toxic, which is overused, but which is unhealthy, I'll say, it feels like that's what it's supposed to be because everybody else seems like they're experiencing the same forms of love, and it's like that's wrong. That's wrong. So social media and the people you connected to, if they're in situations that are unhealthy, and it's like, well, they've been together for X amount of years, but it's like in the X amount of years he's cheated, had a baby, gave her an STD, beat her, like whatever. She cheated on him. But you think because of the longevity of the situation and what social media tells you, you gotta ride with somebody, you gotta stick it out, you gotta do all these things. You feel like that's what the situation's supposed to be, and now they make you feel like if this person isn't doing all these things to you, they don't love you. And it's like, no, if he's saying he's going to pull up and shoot the bar up because you in there, like, something's wrong with him. Leave him alone. That's not a form of love. Don't be flattered. Be scared.
Yeah.
So I think they make people think that that's like a form of love and affection. And it's like, no, he needs help if he don't shoot the bar up.
I got a quick question. Besides like the obvious, are there like signs that someone needs therapy?
So one, I'll just say this first. Like, nothing has to be wrong to go to therapy. You could just want to be a better person.
Okay.
So nothing has to be wrong. So sometimes you might not be depressed. You might not be anything. You just feel like, I just need to talk to somebody just about my day-to-day life because I don't have anybody to talk to.
Okay.
And then you might get to the bottom of something. But signs that somebody mental health is struggling is like they're isolating. Like they're not answering calls. They're not coming to events. They're not answering text messages. You can't get a hold of them. They're not on social media if they are normally on social media. They just retreat from everything.
Okay.
You can't get a hold of them. They just spend all their... They might do the things that they have to do, but outside of that, you won't catch them.
Okay.
Because they don't want to talk to you. They could... Some physical signs, if somebody is a cutter, they'll have cuts everywhere. Not everywhere, but some people do their arms, their legs, because it's easier to hide. But in the summertime, you see all the marks. They aren't doing the things that they used to enjoy. If you know they like to play basketball and you invite them to play basketball and they get there and like, oh, I don't like it no more. Most of the time, for some people, like, that's just an indicator that, like, something might be off. If I know for sure you didn't just stop liking basketball over the last 2 weeks. They may say things about, not being here, dying, death, harming themselves. They start drinking more, using substances more. I won't say marijuana because, right now that they are using that to treat anxiety and PTSD, but, like, they are drinking more to where it's like it's 9 o'clock and they drinking.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's bad.
If you're not on vacation, that's a problem.
That's a fact.
That's
So
a problem.
I'm glad you said that. So the marijuana thing, you think is like truthfully like
Good.
like a tool to help you get through your BS or your situation or your trauma?
I think it's a form of it. If you not to get through your trauma, to help manage the symptoms of being anxious, of having nightmares, or not being able to sleep, or whatever the case may be. I think it's helpful for that because for some people it's going to put you to sleep. For some people it's going to lessen your anxiety because you're relaxing. So I think it can be very, very beneficial to managing those symptoms, but it's not going to get rid of your problems because you got to address the issue.
Yeah.
You got to address the issue. It's going to help with your symptoms. Oh, for sure. I don't disagree. It's going to help with your symptoms, but if you aren't doing the other aspect of it, you're just smoking to get high at this point.
You ever prescribe somebody?
No, so I don't write any prescriptions.
Okay.
I don't write any prescriptions. That's what the psychiatrists do. So they're the doctors. They write all the prescriptions. And then they refer you to come see me. So all they are going to do is listen to your symptoms. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I'm anxious however many times a day. I'm thinking of killing myself. I'm panic attacks, nightmares, all of that. They hear that and they write you a script. And then they tell you, I'm giving you the script, but the agreement is you have to go see somebody like me. So they're just giving you something to manage the symptoms, not to work through the problems. And that's where people kind of confuse it too.
Okay.
Cool.
You got any more questions?
So kind of to piggyback over what you said, but not necessarily as much as him. So me and my dad, we don't have the legit best relationship. And actually some of the stories I was saying was him, people putting me down, stuff like this, more so him. And it's just I'm trying to figure out, I guess, why I have that anger more so every time I see him or every time I talk to him, people have told me before, maybe you should talk to him, stuff like that. I'd be like, it goes in one ear out the other. So it's just it makes me more angry every time I see him or try to talk to him about certain things and just tell him how when he say certain things, it just makes me feel like that's complete shit, honest to God. I feel like I'm nothing in this world. And it's just I just want to know exactly how should I probably go about it more every time I see him or talk to him and stuff like that. Cause it's got to the point now where when my mom tells me that he calls her or whatever, so be it, or anytime that my brother asks me if I talk to anything like that, that kind of almost comes to him, I just be I don't want to say I hate him, but I kind of do. And it's just I'm trying to get over it, but I can't. So it's just how should I kind of go about that?
Well, set boundaries. That's literally it. Set boundaries. Set boundaries with your mom and the conversation she presents to you about him, with your brother and the conversation he presents to you about him. Boundaries. Literally, boundaries, they don't solve everything, but they solve a lot of our issues with other people. Set boundaries, being clear on your boundaries. And I always say this, anybody that care about you is going to respect your boundaries. If they don't respect them, they don't respect you. So set boundaries. And whatever your boundaries may look like, you don't have to explain them. You don't have to justify them. You don't have to, none of that. If this is what you think will help you better manage the thoughts and ideas and interactions that involve him, then that's what you do. And that's just it. Those are your boundaries. And also being realistic and realizing that just because of who somebody is to you doesn't mean that you have to interact with them. Because if they make you feel like shit, one, which I'm sorry he make you feel but if he makes you feel like shit, dad or no dad, you shouldn't have to interact with him.
That's a fact.
Okay, you my dad. Okay, cool. But you don't make me feel good about myself. If you was in a relationship and somebody didn't make you feel good about yourself, you would stop dealing with them. Applies to parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, everybody. Don't interact with anybody that make you feel like shit.
God damn.
What do you
Have you told him how you felt, your dad?
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, my dad. He really. So, all right, just real quick. I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick from the young entrepreneurs, John. So the thing is over, the event is over and everything, and we talking and all this other stuff, and I'm I'm still trying to just be cordial, things like that, and I'm just yo, I'm talking to him, telling him So I got this idea for such and such, such and such.
Hold up, not talking about. He was there.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, kid, you know, my brother. That was my brother's thing. So,
Right.
So yeah, I was just telling him, you know, I got this idea for my franchise that I told y'all about last week when we came back and stuff like when I came back on the show. And the first thing out of his mouth was, "Now your brain is working." Like, that's like saying, like, dude, like, I've been stupid for the past whatever, how many, you know. So just like hearing that, I was like, I wanted to be like, nigga, the fuck is you talk? Like, I really wanted to kind of curse him out, but then I was like, it's really no point at this at this junction, because I'm like, what more can I say? Like, now, like, it is kind of all stemmed back to from when I was younger, graduating high school. He wanted me to go to the National Guard, and I just like, nah, I don't want to do that. So pretty much anything he wanted me to do and I didn't do it is like, I don't know if that made him like disappointed or not say despise me, but it's just like anytime I said something that wasn't in his vision for me, it's just like he don't care.
It was like my way to highway type of shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
DJing, same. When I'm still DJ, I'm shocked you still DJing. When I'm back in school for for be a radio personality, you back in school. He hasn't even said, "Hey, I'm glad you back in school." Nothing. It's just every time it's something like that, it's just like. So, to answer your question, like, I don't even tell him stuff anymore. Like, that's how crazy it's been. It's actually to the point where I told y'all this about my birthday. I told you my birthday passed. My brother, he didn't call me or whatever, so be it for my birthday. Cool, but it's my 30th birthday. Like, that's a big milestone in Philly at that.
Yeah.
So, talked to my dad. He texted me. He's like, "Your brother call you?" Nah. What? Yeah, no, he ain't call me. Oh, well, I think he had court today, such and such. You should call him. It's my birthday.
Yeah, why would I call you?
Why would I call him on my birthday? Yeah. So the other day on Mother's Day, same thing came up. I was like, yeah, he didn't call me on my birthday though. He was like, yeah, but he didn't even say that. He's just like, so? I was like, so? I was like, no, if I did that to you on your birthday, you be flipping out. But it says it's on my birthday, it's a so. So, yeah. Me and my dad, we really clash heads for a lot of reasons. And I used to really think it was because of me, but it's really mostly him. Yeah. So, yeah, to answer your question, bro, I can't really talk to him or try to talk to him no more.
So, are you at the point where you're done with him, or are you still like trying to seek a relationship with him?
No, I'm definitely not trying to seek a relationship, but I'm not gonna say I'm done, because honestly, God, it's hard to be done with somebody that you 9 times out of 10 gonna have to see anyway, regardless. Because like I'm finally having a relationship with my grandma. So a lot of reasons why I wasn't having a relationship with my grandma was because of him. Okay. So that in itself is like, I'll say I'm done, but the fact that he's gonna be around is like hard for me to be like, yeah.
Like, you kind of got to deal with him.
Yeah, I kind of got to deal with him.
If you got to deal with him, I feel like you got to talk to him then and let him know how you feel. To be honest.
Have you ever done it?
Yeah.
You have?
Yes.
What'd you say to that? Because
I feel like if he had the conversation with him and he didn't adhere to the conversation and kind of tailor his behavior, then what else can he do? I mean, yeah, you got to interact with him. That's why I said establish your boundaries so that it's clear. But that would involve you having a conversation about said boundaries.
Yeah. I definitely get that.
Okay. Is like parenting like parenting, I know it's a real thing, but like how like common is it to like go into a therapy session with your parent? See what I'm saying?
It's common. It's not as common, but a lot of the time what brought a lot of people to therapy was issues with their parents. And people have done it. People do it. But it's more so like a lot of the time is the person doesn't feel like their parent will be receptive. But it's like they aren't receptive when it's a conversation just with you two because it's just y'all two. But when there's a third person there facilitating the conversation, it's a little bit more effective. So it works as long as everybody is open-minded, but it's common as well.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry you gotta go through that too.
It's alright, man.
Yeah, I know how that shit feel.
Yeah, it's rough, but it's alright. Like,
Yeah.
my mom the other day, she just was like, he gonna be who he gonna be, and that's really it. That's why me and my mom relationship is so tight.
That's kind of what we got to stop doing, accepting people for who they are. Like, you a grown ass man, bro. You don't got to accept that.
I know.
You really don't. Like,
as much as
and
I
that's where I'm
want
at,
to, I
like
know.
in my life. Like, I don't take shit from nobody, bro. Like, even my dad. Like, we just start talking again, and it's because I chose to. Like, shit is like she said with boundaries. I set my boundaries. Like, shit is it's on my terms. Like, my dad want to meet my kids, and I said no. Like, you're not meeting my kids yet, bro. Like, me and you not even stable. How you gonna meet my kids? So like, them boundaries gotta definitely be set.
Yeah.
We adults. You can't just chump me like I'm not a young boy.
Right.
I'm a man now, a grown man, like responsible one.
Yeah, another thing is too, like, I just let shit roll off my shoulder. Like it is what it is with certain people. Like, I'm cool, bro.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I accept people who they are, but I treat them accordingly. Like, if that's how you want to do things, all right. Well, I'm gonna pick you over there with those group of people, and I'm gonna keep you arm length away. And if I notice how you are, I'm not going. At least I'm going to attempt not to let that like get to me. Like, certain things, we're not going to have certain conversations because I already know where it's going to go. Like, one of my famous lines, like, you can't expect people to act outside their nature. If you know this person, like, if you know your dad is like that, why put yourself in a situation?
Right.
That's how I look at it. That's how I kind of, like, deal with people in my life. That's all.
And like we said, that the older generation, they stuck in their ways, man. Like they not going to change. So just be like you. Like, all you can do is be respectful, keep it on a high and by note, and just don't have no like real conversation with him. Like, just distance yourself.
Oh yeah, that's
And if he care, he'll notice it and try and reach out. If not, fuck it. Like, you did what you could.
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. This episode was coming off of last week's episode. Damn, this episode deep as hell. But
I got another question. I'm sorry, like, I'm being like real personal right now.
nah, bro, dude, listen. This is the reason why we having this episode.
Now, I haven't talked to my therapist about that, but people are telling me that I should try to have a conversation with my ex before I leave to get shit off my chest, and I'm pretty sure she got shit get off her chest.
What you mean before you leave?
Oh, you don't know?
He not suicidal.
He not suicidal.
Life is good. I ain't trying to air myself. I'm moving in September.
Okay.
So people is like, not a bunch of people, but like people close to me is like, yo, you should like talk to her and shit like that and get shit off your chest, and you don't want to leave with like
Things left.
yeah, baggage and unleft. Yeah. So what do you say to that? Because I'm just like, man, I don't like really want to do that, but then like some of the shit they saying is making sense. Cause I do love her and shit like that, but like the other shit I'm cool off. Cause she is a good person and all that, but like the other shit I'm good.
I mean, do you feel like it ended, like the way it ended was, I don't want to say closure because I don't feel like closure is real.
No, I feel like there's a lot of shit in the air.
Then I think that the best bet would definitely be to have that conversation
Yeah.
Okay.
because it's like you're not gonna have a conversation and all the stuff that's left in the air. You just gonna take half of it with you and you gonna keep the other half.
You gonna feel a lot better too, bro.
Okay.
Just getting it off your chest, letting her know like
Whatever.
what you to think of her and the shit you want to say. It'll be an unload.
Yeah, because like well, the thing is, like, one of our issues was like we sucked at communicating. Like, that shit was terrible, and we got to a point where we was like both going through therapy. But then we got to a situation where we was like, man, I'm cool, she cool, I'm cool. We just gonna go our separate ways.
I think you definitely should have a conversation.
I wonder if she listens to this, you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Cause she
I was gonna say that.
She like like a few pictures and shit.
Yeah, she pushing play, bro.
Yeah, she definitely pushing play. Yeah, she gonna want to know if you said anything. That's all.
You got any more questions? We got a little couple more minutes left.
Nah,
No,
nothing I can think
You
of
good,
right
money?
now.
This was a good ass podcast.
yeah, that's yeah,
I'm sorry I got like so
I can't
deep
say
at
that.
the like.
bro.
I mean, yeah, my therapist say the same thing. Like I just don't like. I got a thing where people. I don't like people feeling bad for me and shit.
Yeah, I'm like that too.
Yeah,
I don't like telling people shit.
What's the difference between sympathy and empathy?
Come on with the bar.
Same
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
empathetic.
Yeah.
Oh, Gandhi.
Yeah.
it's for real.
Alright.
Yeah, that's a good episode, man. I mean, I just feel like when everybody listen to this, John, it's gonna be a lot of people that's gonna be like,
Yeah. I mean, that
could connect to a
that
lot of
was
stuff.
my thing. My whole reason for this because I had you have these conversations with your friends where they don't either they don't know what to do or they just not on board with like talking to a therapist and shit like that. And I'm just like, man, as far as like the black community, bro, if we had someone to talk to,
Be a
a lot of this bullshit
a lot better, bro.
would be totally different.
Like, yeah.
So I really do hope like the people that listen to this, I hope y'all get some out of this, and I hope this, becomes a stepping stone for y'all. Just the first step. So that was my purpose for it. I'm glad you came.
Thanks for having me.
Hold
I'm on camera.
before we
My bad. I thought you knew though.
I mean, yeah, but like.
It's like right in her face, like she just,
she like turning away and shit.
yeah, like.
But before we get out here, can you just tell them one more time like where they can go to seek help?
So like I said in the beginning, you can look on psychologytoday.com, search for whatever type of therapist you want, and reach out to them. They usually have email links or phone number links to kind of get a consultation done. You can call it back in your insurance card if you don't want to pay out of pocket, and go about it that way. You can also, if you feel like it's like an emergency, you think you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to hurt somebody else, go to the emergency room, go to crisis, call the suicide hotline. I don't know the number off the top of my head. But call the suicide hotline. If you think that is what you're going to do, the number is 800-273-8255 if you think you are going to harm yourself. But it's Psychology Today, your insurance card, and even a quick Google search. There's an engine for black women, therapyforblackgirls.com, and they'll show you all the therapists in your area just to narrow it down to black women if that's what you want. And even just like following hashtags on Instagram, you'll find really good resourceful information. Yeah. So.
You want to give your information just in case somebody wanna? No. All right.
But I also work for a community-based agency, so it's like show up into one of them. I don't know. I might be there.
Might come across and find you.
Okay.
All right. This is a wrap, man. This is a good job, bro.
No. We need a quote to lead with.
Oh yeah.
That's what we do.
Your
A
quotes,
quote
man.
to leave with.
Wait, I got one.
Go ahead. Your
I got
turn.
one.
Man, I'm worried.
Oh God.
In the words of Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Woosah.
Ooh.
We're gonna call this John Woosah.
All right, y'all.
Woosah.
It's a wrap. We'll see y'all next week. Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
See you,
yeah,
Max.
yeah.
Yeah.